Terrible weather conditions and tragic loss of life in last December's blizzard are still very much top of mind for Buffalo City leaders as they're trying to figure out what can be done now to better prepare for future emergencies. 2 on Your Side's Ron Plants says Buffalo Public Schools could play a major role in providing shelter when people need it most.
So I think greater coordination and putting it all together would be useful.
A request from Buffalo Councilmember Brian Bowman signals involvement of the Buffalo School District in the city's emergency planning, just like we saw with the Merry Christmas Jay heroics as Jay Whitty broke into a Cheektowaga school and ended up with 24 other people joining him as they survived with the school's still stocked cafeteria. So Buffalo schools could follow that example.
To raise up what we can do, how we can step in, and how jointly we can all work together to improve and not just have a plan, but know how to execute the plan when necessary.
School officials emphasize they could not get all 60 buildings open for emergency shelters, but a limited number of buildings could be prepared for shelter use with city and neighborhood planning.
Having some key block club marshals or that can be mobilized to communicate, hey, don't try and go there or try and go here, and say I've got 5 people that need someplace to go. And then if there's a way for them to communicate that. But I think a direct access is not something we'd be able to do.
Also, some council members feel schools could actually supplement community centers as shelter sites.
Oftentimes those schools are located directly in neighborhoods and walking distances more than just community centers that are kind of disproportionately throughout certain districts, because not every district has a community center.
In a state of emergency, we do have something in place that we could move on at a moment's notice and not be scrambling to try to figure out what's going on, because it is about saving lives, and the fact that we have 46 lives lost during a blizzard speaks to us and the importance of us having something in place.
So many people are saying, yeah, this makes perfect sense. What else should we know in terms of what they're looking at in utilizing schools in these emergencies?
Well, Michael, as part of Councilman Bowman's resolution, by the way, he calls that the Warm Up Act, the designated school parking lots, they might be used. Like maybe the idea that, when you know a storm's going to hit, try to get some residents to move their cars in there so they're not on the streets where the plows have to go down, especially the narrow streets. Other things they're talking about is maybe trying to designate more with the city's emergency management director whenever that person is hired, and the idea of using perhaps first responders to have lock boxes on schools or some of these community centers so they don't have to break a window. There's actually a key they can gain access to get into that building. And also, one last thing, backup generators. They said one of the community centers, I think it was in the Lovejoy district, actually lost power. Well, the backup generator could give those people needing shelter power to keep the heat on.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Important stuff. Ron Plants reporting. Ron, thank you very much.